I've just watched Doctor Who The Flux, Series 13, Episode 2, or Chapter 2. Here's my thoughts. Poor old intro.
Hello, my name's Gary, and I've just watched Doctor Who The Flux. I loved it. My mouth is moved as well, but I loved it. Now let's hear the thoughts of Tom Mason.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I enjoyed the episode too. Tom is trying to do ventriloquism and honesty it has failed. Don't tell him it's failed. I'll get you your hat. Oh, thank you. Oh, don't drop things. Thank you. I have no legs. Yeah. Anyway, I learned today's episode of Doctor Who. Let's be shut up and hear Tom's heart. Yay! Right, gone by. I don't know why I did that. I tried to make this video more entertaining than it already is. Now, I'm just watching Doctor Who Series 13, Episode 2. Let's talk about the main elements first. The main elements were very, very, very simple. We had the Sontarans, Mary Sequel, and the Crimean War. That's why I like my room, because it's not that big, so I can shout and you can still hear me. I was growing my Sonic with the Crimean War. Now, let's get this straight. Sontarans, Swarm, Crimean War, Mary Sequel, Dan, Yaz, the Doctor, the Swarm, and Val, I think it's called. I might have said his name absolutely wrong, but if you've not seen the episode, it's obviously spoilers for the episode, so go watch the episode and come back, watch everyone else's reviews and watch mine, because my reviews might not be the best, because obviously I had Gary with me. Now, Gary, why did you just drop the Sonic?
Because the Sontarans are there.
Pick it up then. Right, you're going to hold it, aren't you? So, now that I've got a trusty companion, and you can see my arm, but who cares? Right, so, what happened in the episode?
Two things. And then that the Flux is organised by, if you can hear me totally, the Sontarans.
Yes, Graham. Let me just dazzle your hair. Yes, Graham. It was made by the Sontarans, the Flux. But they all got trapped in an alternate timeline of the Crimean War, didn't they? Yes, you've seen the episode, haven't you? Yes, you have. I have seen the episode. Trust me, I loved it. Now, I might have him with me every week. Now, with this episode being amazing, and with being everything about this episode being incredible. Now, the TARDIS here. The TARDIS. Yes, that's the TARDIS. Time relative dimension. There you go. And with the TARDIS, what happened was it had not had the door on it. Like, the front door piece wasn't on it. Is that right, Gregory?
That's very much right. I'm off to go get a better breakfast.
We've just finished watching Doctor Who. Gotta go get a better breakfast. Oh, yes, I can. Bye, Gregory. You're leaving. Anyway, so, with Crimean being an alternate, where the Sontarans have taken over the history, so the Russians were replaced by Sontarans, and Russia was replaced by Sontar. Now, if I've got to say, is this episode better than episode 1, chapter 1? No, chapter 1 was a little bit better. Only a little bit, but this was more focused on a race of Sontarans. And Gregory's just gonna sit with us because I feel sorry for him. I was quite mean to Gregory. Now, with the episode working very well. Now, you got the Sontarans against British. Merry Sequel is the historical part. Now, the way it began was it opened up with the Doctor, Yaz, and David, and not Graham, and Dan, forgot his name for a second, waking up at the Crimean. Now, because the Flux in the previous episode had hit them, it meant that they were flying through time as humans. And with that comes problems, right? And I mean problems. It comes with a lot of problems. Does that? Let me just tilt you that way. Does that? And the reason why that comes with a lot of problems is because it meant that then Dan landed back in Liverpool, where the Sontarans had taken over, and it also meant that the whole of the Crimean, the whole thing had gone. Now, Yaz had appeared in the same place that Vivian, I think he was called, Vivian? Val? Something beginning with D. Val. And it shows how it all happened. Now, you got to merge some of the elements from the first episode together to make this massive, amazing episode. So you got the elements that lasted in the last episode, and you merge the elements together. So you had the Val, Matt, bloke, thing, person, alien, appear in the same place as the bloke from the 1800s, and you had Yaz there. And you also had the Swarm Easter, and I can't remember what the other book was called. And it was just all and all out chaos. Now, was it a good episode? Yes. Were the Sontarans as good as I thought they were going to be? Bingo. Now, because John Bishop's a comedian, it meant that the more comedy moment came from John Bishop. Now, we got to meet Dan's parents. And they were also from Liverpool, but the mum did sound a little bit Welsh. In my opinion, a little bit, but that's all. And they had, through the whole episode, they had a whole joke going along, a whole gag, as they say, with the wok. And if you don't know what a wok is, I think it's what you cook Indian food with, but I might be wrong, so don't quote me there. Now, Sontarans looked incredible. Sontar-ha! 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 Sontar-ha-ha! Sontar-ha-ha! Sontar-ha or Sontar-ho! And we also got to see what happened to the Sonic. Now in the trailer, how the trailer begins, the Doctor does this. And what that is that transmitting a signal to try and bring the Sontarans to her so she can explain that she's the Doctor and we're going to try and do this plan with them so that they don't kill the human English, really. But then the captain had his own plans because he's stubborn, and so with the captain's plans it meant that it really just meant that there was more death. And obviously guns aren't gonna be very useful against lasers that the Sontarans were firing. Now I quite liked how we brought back the element of if you hit them in the neck then they die,
I quite like they brought that element back, so they can use that element with the whole walk. The Calvinista returned, the dog creature thing, returned to save Dan. I don't know why I keep thinking he's Dave, but to help save Dave, and overall it worked. Now, what was your favourite bit of the episode? Tell the camera, please.
Well, my favourite bit of the episode was when they turned Yaz and that other bloke into that time thing.
Yes, well done. Now there was a time thing. There was apparently a planet called Time, and on the planet called Time, they look after time. And the people that were trapped on this time thing looked like they had a dog cone on, like a dog goes to a vet and they need a dog cone. But during that, the reason why Yaz and the Doctor and Dan was there was because the TARDIS had got this bit all over it, so it's like in different places, so they couldn't control the TARDIS. So the TARDIS beamed them there, and it was a whole trap. Now it did end with a cliffhanger when they're about to click, like a Thanos click, and it made me want to be really excited for next week. Now I quite liked how there wasn't a lot going on in terms of trying to introduce so many different elements. We're focusing really on the Sontaran element of the episode, so the elements of what the Sontarans play in this part. And according to the Sontarans, they invented the Flux because they wanted to take over the world, like all the time and space. So the Calvinistas, the dog creature things, are now looking after Earth, while the Doctor and Dan try and save Yaz and that Val, whatever he's called. So I'm personally very excited to find out what happens next. I love this episode to bits. It was amazing. It was funny. Mary Seacole was really good in this episode. I've got to clarify. Putting historical characters in a science fiction set normally works well because they stick to a historical format like in Rose. But because they swapped out the Russian and China and Russia and China for Sontar, it got to have Mary Seacole in a scientific sci-fi setting, and she got to write notes and keep an eye on the Sontarans, and that's what helped them destroy the Sontarans. So well done, Mary Seacole. It was very well acted, very well performed, looked stunning as ever, and I'm really happy about it. Now, not only do we get Doctor Who today, we're also getting a brand new episode of Doctor Who The Community Show, which happens to be airing on YouTube, like premiering around about this time. So you can go watch that, come back and watch my review. I'm really excited to watch Doctor Who The Community Show, and I'm excited for next week's episode of Doctor Who. What do we expect to see? Well, in the next time trailer, if you don't want to have spoilers of this, stop watching now. The next time trailer has got the Cyber Time Lords in it. I think they're still the Cyber Time Lords, or they might have just gone back to regular old box standard Cybermen. But nonetheless, the Sontarans looked amazing, and Dan Starkey, I think he's called, who was in the Paternoster Gang Big Finish series, which I do want to listen and review. I've got a box that I need to listen to, and he was also in a lot of Doctor Who episodes as the friendly Sontaran, so I'm quite excited that he was back playing most of the Sontarans anyway. There was one Sontaran that looked like this, where you could like sort of see his mouth, but not very well. So he's like, Sontar, ha, and you're thinking, go on, say that to me again. No, didn't hear you. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. And they never do. Sontar. But yet again, that's another element of the Flux finished. What's next for the Flux? Well, will we find out if my theory of the Swarm being either a new Time Lord, the Valiard, Rani, or the Master, Only time will tell. But who's the woman version? Who knows? She might be the Rani, actually. That's a good point. She might be the Rani. But if Masterful's got anything to say about it, we will find out. I'm so excited. This was a fantastic new episode. And what do you think?
I liked it.
Well, you liked it, Gary. Ooh, hey! It was brilliant. It was amazing, and it was fantastic. Don't know what's up with the TARDIS. Might mean that we might get a new TARDIS completely, or a new TARDIS interior for the 14th Doctor. Who knows? Well done, Dan. And well done, John Bishop. Thank you guys for watching. Time on, come out. Bye! Remember, the Flux is coming! Woohoo! Shouldn't sound that excited about the Flux, but I sort of am.